The Fortune Cookie Kid. Chapter 6. It happened again. We all sat in our chairs while Miss Peach wrote the assignment for the day on the board. The sun was shining in the window, and other than that, nothing was different. She turned around, and that is all I remember until I heard the school bell go off in my head. Thomas looked at me.
"Reggie, are you back?"
Yeah. I looked around the room. Everyone was busy doing their work. I even had a couple of problems done, which was a surprise to me, and they appeared to be right as I glanced at Thomas's paper to see his answers.
"No one is on their cell phone,"
I whispered. Thomas was right. The room was too quiet. Ms. Peach started to walk down the rows of desks, and again I heard the school bell ring in my ear. My assignment was almost complete. I looked at Thomas, who was watching the teacher intently.
"It has to be Miss Peach."
She was twisting the crystal that she always wore. It was attached to a fine chain necklace that stopped at her waist. Thomas didn't say anything, or I became hypnotized again, I don't know which. But it was the real school bell that pulled me out of my trance this time. I yawned and stretched my arms over my head before I stood to leave class. You know, there is one good thing about being hypnotized.
What's that?
I don't feel tired anymore. As a matter of fact, I feel great. I took her hand and pulled her out of class behind me. Thomas found Chelsea, and together we walked the girls to their lit class. Chelsea and Thomas kissed goodbye, and I hugged Mouse with one hand. It wasn't a real hug, more kind of a sideways one. I was so nervous I turned and left for my class without saying goodbye. "I can hardly wait until lunch so we can talk about everything we learned today," I said to Thomas as we hurried down the hall.
"That will be problematic. Our table is turning into a circus with everyone clamoring to sit at it."
That's true. I had to agree.
"The weather's so nice, let's sneak outside and eat."
I don't have a problem with that. The circus was starting to wear on me too. Just before we went into our 4th-hour class, I had to ask Thomas something. Do you know what the trigger is yet?
"I'm not sure."
"Well, what do you think it is?"
"I'll discuss that with you after class."
He hissed, and we took our seats. The clock on the wall in 4th-hour government class seemed slower than the rest in school. It was a painful 45 minute after minute ticking away slowly. The teacher droned on and on about the Declaration of Independence. The only thing I wanted to figure out was how and why someone hypnotized everyone in my math class. Thomas pulled me out of my reverie.
"Reggie, give me a cookie."
"Why?" I asked softly, and watched the teacher to see if he could hear us. But Mr. Mackey was too enthralled with the subject he was speaking on to notice that half the class was asleep.
"Just give me a cookie, please."
I slowly pulled my backpack up from the floor and tried to quietly pull one out, while keeping my eyes focused on the teacher. The cellophane crackled expectantly, and I made a promise to myself that I would wrap a few in paper towels just for moments like this. The teacher did not even look my direction because Wendy, who sat in the front row, rose her hand and asked,
"I am not sure what you mean by annotating. What is that?"
She was looking at the paper on her desk with a highlighter in one hand and a pencil in the other.
"That is a good question,"
Mr. Mackey said, and began explaining in detail what he wanted us to do. This gave me the perfect opportunity to pass the cookie to Thomas without the teacher seeing me. I did not watch Thomas eat the cookie, but I did hear him swallow it. Thomas took out his phone and texted me. I mouthed the words of the text as I read it.
"I'm inviting Chelsea to have lunch with us."
Before I could text him back, his hand shot up into the air.
"Yes, Thomas?"
"I need to go to the office."
"Very well."
Mr. Mackey held out a hall pass for my friend. After class, I found Mouse and headed outside to find him. Thomas was alone sitting on a bench in the sun typing something into his tablet. "Well, what did you find out?"
"So far, all of Miss Peach's classes have been under hypnosis."
"Did you figure out how?"
"I have a theory."
I stared at my friend and held Mouse's hand tightly, bracing myself for his answer. But he didn't say anything. "Aw, come on," I groaned.
"I'm waiting for Chelsea to get here."
"What? I know she is your girlfriend and all, but why does she have to know about this? The less people that know, the better." My argument was brought to an abrupt halt as I saw his girlfriend come around the school building, sneaking past the windows as she went with a box in her hand. I scowled at Thomas and felt that I was losing my best friend to this annoyingly popular girl. Reluctantly, I informed him, "Chelsea is coming." I slumped into the bench beside him and pulled on Mouse's backpack until she sat almost on my lap. Her warmth comforted me. Thomas handed me a small rectangle-shaped paper. I read the fortune to Mouse. "A smile increases your face value. What does this have to do with any of this?"
Chelsea would have been mad if I hadn't shown up in the lunchroom. When I invited her out here to eat with us, she texted me back a smiling emoji. I explained that we needed to discuss some top-secret stuff about math class with her. She offered to bring us lunch.
He held out his phone so I could see the message. "I don't want her to know about my mind being hijacked."
I told you all of the math classes Ms. Peach teaches are under hypnosis, including Chelsea's.
Thomas explained slowly so I could absorb what he was trying to get me to understand. Then he added,
"Oh, did I mention she's very excited about having lunch outside away from everyone else?"
Thomas took the paper in my hand and held it up for me to read the back of the fortune.
Exciting.
Mouse read it for me. I sighed and closed my eyes. Mouse slid her hand into mine. Sometimes I think she can read my mind. How could a girl who has so little have so much, I wondered, and pulled her hand into the pocket of my jacket. Although it was sunny, it clearly felt like fall was in the air, though the leaves in the trees had not changed color yet. I shivered as a cool breeze blew, causing all the leaves in the tree over us to rustle, as if a million birds had just taken flight. When Chelsea reached us and opened the box, I wasn't mad anymore. "You went to the China Bowl," I said excitedly.
Yes, they make the best sweet and sour chicken. The cashier gave me a discount. As I was waiting for my order, I mentioned that I was buying lunch for my friends. Then she wanted to know what school I went to, and if I knew you, Reggie.
Chelsea smiled and handed me a box with a big smiley face drawn on the top.
Your aunt said it was your favorite, and to make sure you got it.
"Almond chicken," I breathed, as I held the package up to my nose and inhaled deeply.
Oh, and she said to give you a plastic spoon because you haven't learned how to use chopsticks.
I frowned and took it from her.
"I hope you brought more than one spoon,"
Thomas said, eyeing the contents of the box. I assume he was looking for his favorite cookies because he immediately picked up the container that held the crunchy good luck charms and handed them to me. After we each got a container of food, it was quiet except for the occasional smacking of lips and chewing sounds one makes when eating really good Chinese food. It's funny how food can make you calm. When Thomas was finished eating, he started telling Chelsea about what we had learned, even though the girls were still eating. Why do girls take so long to eat? Do they just like to savor each bite, or are their mouths smaller? I watched Mouse eat for a few minutes, trying to decide which was right, while Thomas went over everything I already knew. I, to this day, do not know why it takes girls so long to eat. Chelsea was not happy to learn that her brains were being hijacked.
What? That is not possible.
She steamed and flipped her blonde hair back. Chelsea's hair is her superpower.
"It is. I checked on your class, and everyone was hypnotized as far as I could tell. Do you remember anything that you studied in math today?"
She thought for a minute.
We did fractions?
Reggie guessed fractions too.
Thomas tapped his chin, thinking for a second, then continued.
It was logarithms.
No, it wasn't.
Her eyebrows were pulled together as she tried hard to remember.
He's right.
How could someone hypnotize the whole class? Why would they do that? I mean, we aren't bad in Ms. Peach's class. What about the other math classes?
All the other classes seemed to be normal, except Ms. Peach's. I even helped out in the office during my study hour so I could go into Mr. Peterson's and Mrs. Hausman's classes. No one was hypnotized. Kids were on their phones and talking to each other. They were acting normal.
Chelsea pursed her lips. The look she had on her face was murderous. She turned around so fast that her hair hit Thomas in the face.
"Wait,"
Thomas said loudly as he hurried off after his girlfriend.
"Where are you going?"
He grabbed hold of her arm, pulling Chelsea to a stop.
No one messes with Chelsea Penman and gets away with it.
Thomas gave me a look that had me running to the door. I blocked her from going into the school. Mouse joined me.
Look, we don't even know if Ms. Peach is the one who hypnotized everyone. She doesn't seem to be the type. Help us figure out who is behind this, and together we will take them down.
Chelsea seemed to like the idea of helping us because she stopped fighting to get away from Thomas.
No, Ms. Peach doesn't seem like she has the skills for something that grand. Who could hypnotize 150 students?
We had her convinced that it wasn't our math teacher's fault by the time the bell rang. I was glad that Thomas waited until after we ate to tell her. I'm not sure if we succeeded in convincing her, but she agreed to not say anything to our teacher or anyone else. Compared to Chelsea's outburst, the rest of the day was pretty much normal, but I didn't hear about what Thomas was thinking until after we got off the bus.
Can I have a cookie?
I put my backpack down and pulled one from it. Here. I handed it to him. When are you going to tell me what you learned today?
I'll show you tomorrow. I have to get something first to test it.
He looked at me and smiled malevolently. What are you planning to do?
Hypnotize you.
My friend turned and walked away from me. I was too stunned to say anything, so I picked up my bag and walked into my house. He knows the trigger, and he is going to test it on me. That thought had me scared. What would my friend make me do while under hypnosis? This is the end of the chapter. Please like and subscribe.